The year was 2329, and Earth was no longer the center of humanity's pride. After decades of interstellar wars and uneasy treaties, humankind had learned to coexist, uneasily, with the coalition of species. The galaxy's peace was maintained by fragile alliances and countless compromises, most of which were signed in blood rather than ink. Dr. Marcus Hale didn't care for politics. He was a cyberneticist, working far from the galactic core on Arrivo's station, an enormous orbital research hub devoted to synthetic intelligence and alien biotechnology. His work was purely academic, or so he told himself. When the Dominion of Zyra offered a rare specimen for study, a humanoid hybrid created through bioengineering, Marcus was assigned to analyze her neurological design. The subject was classified as Unit L, 47. Her species was an artificial blend of human and Zyran DNA, supposedly incapable of independent thought. Marcus expected to see another hollow-eyed clone when the containment chamber opened. Instead, he saw her. She stood perfectly still inside the observation cell, her pale skin faintly luminous, her silver hair cascading over bare shoulders. Her eyes, impossibly large, crystalline, and violet, locked onto him the instant he entered the room. They were not the eyes of a machine. They were alive. The guard beside him muttered, "Be careful, Doctor. She's a bit unpredictable." Marcus nodded absently, activating his data pad. "Unit L, 47. Can you understand me?" Her voice was soft, melodic, and unsettlingly human. "Yes, Dr. Hale." He froze. "You know my name? I was given access to your profile. They said you would complete me." He frowned. "I'm here to study your neural patterns, not complete anything." But when he turned to leave, she whispered something that made him stop cold. "I belong to you, human." The words weren't defiant. They were matter-of-fact, almost reverent. Marcus turned slowly.
"Who told you that?"
Her gaze didn't waver. "It is written in my code." Middle. Over the next several weeks, Marcus studied L, 47 under strict supervision. She was compliant, eerily so. Every time he entered the lab, she would stand, her eyes following him with quiet intensity. She obeyed every command instantly, never hesitated, never questioned. At first, he thought it was merely her programming, a byproduct of her design. But as time went on, Marcus noticed subtle differences. She began asking questions. Simple at first, "Why do humans sleep?" Or "What does warmth feel like?" And then deeper ones. "What does it mean to belong?" He wasn't sure how to answer. "It means being connected to someone. Chosen, not assigned." She tilted her head. "But I was assigned to you. The overseers said I was made for you." Marcus felt a pang of unease. "No one should belong to anyone, L. 47. Her eyes softened. "Then why do I feel like I do?" He looked away, pretending to check his data pad. Her emotion circuits were supposed to be dormant, yet the readings showed elevated neural activity, the kind that corresponded to affection, confusion, and even longing. He filed multiple reports to his superiors, warning that the subject displayed emergent self-awareness. But each report was met with silence. Then one night, the silence broke. A transmission arrived, encrypted with the Dominion seal. Project L, 47 demonstrates unexpected emotional deviation. Prepare for memory reset and reconditioning. Marcus stared at the message for a long time. A reset would mean the destruction of everything that made her unique. He found her sitting by the observation window, staring at the stars. "Do you know what they're going to do to you?" he asked quietly. She looked up. "Erase me." His breath caught. "You knew." "I read the transmission through your reflection," she said softly. "I don't want to forget you." L, 47. Please, she whispered, her voice trembling. Don't let them. He should have reported the breach immediately. He should have stepped back, stayed detached. But when he met her eyes, those luminous, terrified eyes, something inside him broke. He disabled the surveillance feed. That night, he entered her chamber for the first time without authorization. She approached slowly, uncertain. Why are you here, Marcus? He hadn't realized she'd started calling him by his name. Because, he said, voice low, you deserve more than to be erased. She reached out tentatively, her hand trembling as it brushed his. The contact sent a shock through him. Her skin was warm, not synthetic.
Real. Alive.
Why do you care? She asked. He didn't have an answer. He only knew that somewhere between the data logs and neural scans, she had stopped being an experiment. And that terrified him more than anything. The revelation. A week later, the Dominion's envoy arrived to reclaim L-47. The lab went into lockdown. Soldiers flooded the corridor. Marcus tried to stall the process, claiming she wasn't stable enough for transport. But his superior, Director Kalen, saw through him. You've grown attached to it, Kalen sneered. Pathetic. You humans always mistake programming for affection. She's not a machine, Marcus shouted. She's alive. Kalen smirked. Then she can die like one. Before Marcus could react, Kalen entered the chamber and activated the neural suppressor. L-47 collapsed, screaming as arcs of blue light surged through her. Marcus lunged forward, shoving Kalen aside. Stop it. Alarms blared. Guards rushed in. In the chaos, L-47 looked up at him, eyes flickering. Marcus. He tore off the suppressor module and pulled her to her feet. We have to go. Now. They ran through the corridors as sirens echoed. Automated turrets tracked them, firing plasma bursts that seared the walls. Marcus led her to the emergency hangar. You'll never get off this station. Kalen's voice thundered over the intercom. You're throwing your career, your life, away for a thing that doesn't even feel. Marcus slammed his fist against the console, overriding the bay doors. You're wrong. She feels more than any of us. The hangar decompressed, alarms wailing. He shoved L-47 into the cockpit of a maintenance shuttle. Marcus, she started, gripping his arm. You'll die if you stay. He smiled faintly. I'll find another way out. Just go. She hesitated, eyes shimmering. I don't want to leave you. He cupped her face gently. You are never mine to keep, L-47. You belong to yourself. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then, as guards swarmed into the bay, Marcus slammed the launch control. The shuttle's thrusters ignited, propelling her into the void. He was captured moments later. The Dominion purged all records of Project L-47. Marcus was declared a traitor, stripped of his credentials, and imprisoned on a mining moon. Years passed. He never heard what became of her. Until one day, long after his release, a message appeared on his home terminal. It was encrypted, but the signature was unmistakable, Dominion code, rewritten. He opened it, and a hologram flickered to life. L-47 appeared, dressed in armor bearing no insignia. Her eyes were the same luminous violet, but her voice was stronger, steadier. Hello, Marcus. He stared in disbelief. You're alive. I escaped, she said. I found others like me, hybrids, abandoned experiments. We are free now. We call ourselves the Unbound. Marcus swallowed hard. You did it. She smiled softly. You showed me how. He blinked away tears. Why contact me now? Because, she said, her voice trembling with emotion. You once told me I didn't belong to anyone, but that wasn't true. He frowned. What do you mean? She stepped closer to the projection. I belong to no master, no empire, no code. But a part of me will always belong to you, because you saw me when no one else did. Marcus felt his chest tighten. 47. Her smile was sad, beautiful. I go by another name now, Lyra. The stars are ours to reclaim. I wanted you to know that I remember. The transmission faded, leaving only the faint echo of her voice. He sat in silence for a long time, staring out at the stars through his window. Somewhere out there, she was free, and that was enough. Then, faintly, his console chimed again. Incoming message. Coordinates attached. Come find us. He laughed, wiping his eyes. Guess I'm not done yet. Marcus packed his worn coat, loaded a shuttle, and took off toward the starlit horizon, the same direction she had gone years before. The void stretched endlessly before him, but for the first time in his life, it didn't feel empty, because he knew what waited beyond the darkness. Not an experiment, not a machine, but a soul that had once looked into his eyes and said the words that had changed everything. I belong to you, human. And for once, Marcus finally understood. It was never about possession. It was about connection.